Hey everyone, stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here with the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications when we go live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before market open. If you want to join the UVH fam, our community, hit the link in our description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. Sorry, I was a few minutes late. YouTube was not allowing me to hit the go live button. Kept airing out. But we good. We're good. We are here. Good morning. Again, market is relatively flat right now. We have the S&P's down only 50 cents. Dow is down 28. NASDAQ is up 50, which is honestly not surprising. You know? What's going on? Just Fazil, Hank, Jeff, Victor, Christopher, Jack, Carl. How are we doing? Good morning. Glad to have you guys here. Glad to have you guys in the chat. Glad you're able to join this morning. A couple things going on right now. Having a hard time to come up with ideas to day trade. I mean, I agree with you, Hank. I mean, the movement is relatively slow. I mean, yesterday was really slow. So, kind of get the day started off today. We had a weekly jobless claims totaling 1.416 million versus 1.3 expected. So obviously worse. But I mean, think about this though. We're still every week there's another million people unemployed. Like what's going to happen here? I mean, what is going to happen? Another 1.4 million, like every week, 1 million. It's not. I mean, we're far. I mean, if you look at the chart here, we're far outpacing the Great Recession, which was in most people's minds. The Great Recession was horrible. But we're way above that on a weekly level. I mean, it's basically twice, almost 3 times as much at the height. And we had this humongous spike here up above, 6 million, and now we're still getting 1.4 million. I mean, is this sustainable? I mean, what's going to happen here? I mean, I would be careful to add silver today. It could run at 26, but it could also drop to $2 to $3. Yeah, I mean, at this point, if you're trading silver or gold, your question is when's going to be the pullback, and if you want to buy it. I think Hank and Christopher, if you're thinking about buying gold and silver, and this is my opinion, not investment advice, for entertainment purposes only, I think people are going to buy the pullback because they're a little bit on the FOMO side. I mean, I do believe in gold and silver, but I think that the pullbacks will be bought. So I think it's a relatively safe trade. But that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Now we did have Tesla earnings this morning. We had Twitter, Southwest Airlines, American Airlines. I did trade these, so I did sell some premium in these relatively small positions. In Twitter, I'm short the 37 strike calls and puts. In Southwest, I am short the 33 calls and puts. And then in American Airlines, I'm short the 11 call and put, which right now is looking relatively good. Oh, just so you can kind of see what's going on here. Here we go. Full screen for you guys for Twitter. Now that I've put it out, I'm actually Army Joe, man. It's been a while. Where you been, bro? Where you been? Hope you've been staying safe. Nowadays with the corona, and I know your line of work, Joe. I know your line of work, so it's like nowadays with the corona, where you don't hear from somebody for a while, you're like, I hope they're okay. You know what I mean? But Joe, let's connect. Hit me up on Twitter and the Discord. Check in every once in a while, so we don't assume the worst. You know what I mean? Like it's bad. It's bad that we think that way these days. Is like, yo, I haven't heard from this person for a while. I hope. Yikes. But man, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like, especially like World War II or a major world war or something like that, especially when information was so slow. Now information's fast. If something happens across the ocean on the other side of the world, we hear about it almost immediately because of the internet. But back in the day, I mean, it took a long time to find out someone's not coming back. You know what I mean? Like, terrible. But, so I did trade the airlines. I traded the airlines based on, I didn't trade United. And United, obviously, we're at a better bed capacity now. It's not getting better. All right, well, you heard it from Joe. He's on the front line. Stay inside. Do not go out. Do not go out. Do not go out. But the United Airlines. So United Airlines, I was basically playing the airlines off of United Airlines. Now, I didn't trade United Airlines. They did post a loss. It was nothing but bad news. They're down a lot from year over year or blah, 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 we know. But the bad news is baked in. They didn't have anything to offer in terms of good news. Same thing happened right now with Southwest and American Airlines, which is why I sold premium in there. Right now, they are flat as can be. So I sold some premium in American Airlines and in Southwest Airlines. American Airlines swings to a quarterly loss as the coronavirus depressed demand, but they also slashed their cash burn, which is good. We remain confident we will emerge from the crisis more agile and more efficient than ever before. Sounds like lip service. I mean, Southwest and its competitors have worked to reduce cash burn, aka they're probably going to be laying off a ton of people or already in the process of laying off a ton of people. Now that people don't have to keep employees regarding the PPP loan, I'm expecting that the unemployment is probably going to tick up. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you want to have some faith in people, but honestly, the only reason why people kept certain people on is because they needed to for the PPP loan. Now that they have already surpassed the time for the loan forgiveness, I think the layoffs are going to be coming. There's a lot of layoffs going to happen in August and October. Oh, this one. Airlines are prohibited from cutting jobs until October 1st. So yeah, I said October. So they have a little bit of a different deal in terms of the airlines because of the amount of money they got. But yeah, I guess it's good to know. But so I know some are in August, and then like I said, some are in October. So what is going to happen here? You know what I mean? In November, December. These are just going to be massive layoffs. The government did buy a lot of time. Are they going to try to buy more? Possibly. There was, where was it? Do I have it here? No. I think it said here, GOP, White House reached tentative $1 trillion pact to break coronavirus aid logjam. So this is what's coming out right now. American Airlines just signed a $4.75 billion loan from the Treasury. Yeah. But they can't lay off anyone until October 1st, so I guess that's good, but I don't think we're getting a vaccine by October. Senate Republicans announced Wednesday they have reached a fundamental agreement with White House negotiators on how to move forward with a coronavirus relief bill. Everything's got to be voted on, so they're in agreement with the White House. We'll see if the Democrats are in agreement. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Doesn't really have a whole lot to say here, I don't think. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing. If you guys want to, you can go through it. They did say they're going to provide Americans with another round of direct payment stimulus checks, which the administration has been pushing for weeks. They don't know the specifics. They don't know anything, so we'll see what happens. Like if any company in the world, like any public company on the market, operated like the U.S. government is right now, it would be a literal penny stock waiting to be delisted. You know, like what do you look for in a company? Good CEO leadership, a good executive team to carry out the vision, and yet, this is probably going to offend people, but yet our government is not even taking care of their own people, you know, and it's frustrating. Like, why is there so much fun? Just take care of the people. Just do what's right. Oh, but that's not going to help so-and-so's career and that blah, blah, blah. All the politics, you know. Whatever, you know. What's your position on Tesla this morning? Army Joe, I do not have a position on, I don't have a position on Tesla, but Tesla's going to be interesting. There was a lot of upgrades on Tesla this morning. Tesla reports fourth straight quarter of profits. I mean, people are taking it seriously. They're no longer thinking it's Tesla TSLA. You know, people thought it was a scam, but now that I know I said it last night, but it's amazing to me how the current circumstances of the pandemic, Tesla is excelling. While other companies are failing, Tesla is excelling during a time of opposition where you know, U.S. car sales are down drastically. People are saving their money, but Tesla, people are buying Teslas, and I think, you know, people are like, oh, it doesn't deserve to be 1,500. But who are we to determine the stock price, right? We're nobody. But what I'm thinking is, if they continue delivering profits, they're going to be able to go more mainstream. If they go more mainstream, Infinity. I mean, and honestly, the Tesla cars are a piece of the vision for Elon Musk. The bigger vision, obviously, is to sustain America on renewable energy instead of burning oil and nat gas and all that stuff, and using Earth's resources for pollution purposes, right? And containing pollution. His goal is that's why they have the solar company. That's why they have, obviously, electric vehicles. I mean, they have the power walls. I mean, his vision right now is to power America with renewable energy. So we'll see if that happens. You know, like whenever you're trying to shake things up, especially in the automotive industry, the oil industry, a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like drilling oil. Why? Because oil has made many people rich. Many people. And generational. I mean, look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is rich. You know what I mean? they're rich. I mean, so that being said, there's a lot of haters, and that's why a lot of people try to stop Elon, but you got to give it to the man. I mean, most people would have quit a long time ago. They would have come out of failure and said, "Oh well, not worth the effort," and took the golden parachute and left. But Elon Musk has believed in the vision, and he's pushing forward. Been waiting to get in Tesla for a year. It moved too fast. Don't feel comfortable holding it at this price. Well, do you want to know a little something? Do you want to feel better about yourself? So I had Tesla shares. I bought Tesla shares in 2015 for $150. I sold them for $350. Which at the time, I mean, that's a good gain. I was like, okay, well, I'll take this money. Tesla was consolidating, not really going anywhere. There was a lot of, they were basically falling on their face. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like you said, it moved too fast. Like, so that breakout, it went from like 300 to 900, and you're just like, you can't buy that. And then it went from 900. Where's the chart? It went from 1,000 back down to 300. You're like, oh well, okay. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna wait till after the pandemic, right? It goes from 400, 300 up to 1,500, 2,000 almost. So I think that if you're going to be, in my opinion, of course, entertainment purposes only, if you're going to be an investor in Tesla, I think you just hop in and hold on for the long term. And if it goes down, you buy more. And that's all you can do. You're never going to be able to time the bottom. You're never going to be able to time the top. And that goes for a lot of things. But Tesla especially, it just moves so fast. I mean, it doubled in a period of a week and a half. So I think that if you just want to buy shares, if you're buying them on like Fidelity or Robinhood and using fractional shares, because they're really expensive, just buy. If it goes lower, you can like what companies do and what funds do. Schedule yourself a buy program every month, whatever the price. Let's say you want to put $500 in or $300 in or $1,000, whatever it is, $10,000. Who cares? Create your own buy program to be automatic. Automatically withdraw from your bank account. Automatically buy the stock on a month-to-month basis or every 2 weeks or whatever you want to do. Every quarter. But do a buy program. No matter what the price is, buy. If you believe in it. And that way you're averaging out or averaging up or averaging. Just create a buy program. That's all you got to do. Create a buy program for yourself. If this is a stock you believe in, they're delivering profits now. A lot of companies are not delivering profits right now. So money's shifting. Where's it going to go? Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft. Like you said, they aren't a car company. They are truly a tech space company. Now, a lot of people get confused with like SpaceX and Tesla and thinking it's the same. SpaceX is its own entity. Now, could they merge in some way in the future, collaborate? Who knows? Of course they can collaborate. They got the same CEO. But they're right now separate entities. But I think that we'll see. We'll see. We're at the point, if you think about Tesla and you think about like space travel and you think about, we're at the point when like this is a huge shift in what the future is going to hold. Like back in the day when the telephone came out or when radio came out, people were like, oh, well, you don't need TV if you have a radio. Look at what happened. TV is huge. And then what happened when the internet came out? Especially like YouTube and all that streaming, Netflix. So we're at a huge shift in technology that we can, obviously our brains right now, we can't foresee it because we don't have the infrastructure. A lot of us just don't see it because we can't predict the future. But if I told, like if you told my grandfather in 1950 or something and be like, hey bro, 2020, they're going to have cars that drive themselves powered by the sun. He'd be like, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like that's not possible. Like they're going to have battery powered cars, solar powered by the sun, and they're faster than a Porsche. You know what I mean? Like insanity. And that's what's happening. So I was like, hey, we don't need to travel to the moon or to Mars because there's nothing there. But what happens when there's something there? What if somebody wants to go there? What if they use space flight and they start like mining platinum from the moon or something? Who knows? Like they find a giant asteroid that they're mining. I don't know. Like, but that's where we are right now, is that lizard brain knows. We're the internet is stupid. Well, if it wasn't for the internet, though, we wouldn't be trading like this. You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't for the internet, you would not be able to execute trades as fast as you could. You'd have to call up your broker on the phone. Or back in the day, like way back in the day, you had to find out on a telegram that your company bankrupted and you are broke. And you found out a week later or whatever. It's like, hey, turns out the company no longer exists. Your entire investment's gone. Yo, Daniel, what's going on? If not for the internet, we would have completely collapsed during COVID. Yeah, I mean, Joe, we would probably all be like farmers and milking cows and husking corn, and which there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I actually think sometimes maybe I'd be better off on a farm than all of the stress I have to go through on a day-to-day basis, you know. Pelosi told Blitzer that there is a floor for the market. Well, I don't think anyone knows. I mean, Pelosi, she is a politician, not a financial advisor or anything. I mean, she's rich, but I wouldn't take investment or financial advice from Pelosi other than maybe they mean there's a floor as in they're going to buy a bunch of stuff when it gets to a certain level. And then the Fed's going to come in and start buying. Oh, actually, the Fed's going to come back in and buying ETFs. And, hey, we're going to buy Apple and we're going to start controlling the market. I mean, whatever. It's frustrating, guys. I think most of us would be better on a farm. Yeah, seriously. Social distance. You get to hang out, do some hard labor. You know. Daniel's in Microsoft, Twitter, and Tesla. Yeah, I'm in the airlines. I'm in Twitter. I sold some premium in Twitter. Right now, looking relatively flat, but looking at Tesla. My goal for Tesla today is probably maybe try to sell some premium. Premium's going to get a bit crushed on Tesla. They only moved up about $60 to $70. Expected move on them was it was like $225. Implied volatility was 220%. So I really wanted to sell a premium in Tesla, but I was afraid that they'd have like a blow up quarter to go up like $500 because so many people would get short squeezed. At this time, so close to elections, politicians will be serving their agendas only. Yeah, that's why Trump is doing the coronavirus updates again, because enough people complained it made him look bad. Yes, they couldn't really break through 1700 yesterday. Yeah, I mean, they pushed through, but I mean, last time they pushed through to 1794. But this was like Tesla. You have to understand there's a lot of money short. So it can go up extremely. I mean, this could go to 2,000, 2,200 easily. If a short squeeze happens, which it's been happening, this can really blast off. Now, it doesn't mean that the stock deserves to be that price or anything, but price action is going to do what it's going to do, and people are going to liquidate or be forced to liquidate based on the margin that they owe. Short squeeze happened last week. Many closing. I find that like at this point in time, people keep waiting for the big drop on Tesla, and sure, it might happen, but are they going to bleed you out before before you can say you were right? That's the question. Are they going to bleed you out before you can say you were right? And it's easier just to buy the dip than it is to short the rip, because the rips have been so far pretty sustainable. The only reason why this took place is because we had the pandemic, and that was a mess. But obviously, it's ripped up a few 100% since then. But right now, if you look at Twitter, the airlines, Twitter's relatively flat. Airlines are flat. American Airlines are flat. Now, Microsoft also had, I was going to sell some premium on Microsoft, but what I didn't like about Microsoft selling premium was that it was close to all-time highs. I felt like it could gap up above all-time highs and run to 220, but that's not what happened here. The expected move on Microsoft was plus or minus $10 yesterday. It only moved, 4 now? 3? Bitcoin is looking interesting. Is it popping up again? I don't really pay too much attention to Bitcoin just because Bitcoin has been it's been consolidating, but honestly, Bitcoin's been kind of a disappointment. Obviously, every rip it gets popped, but it is kind of forming a nice triangle here. So I do like that. So if it could pop up, but the main thing is these pops happen quite frequently and they get sold off like every time. So it really needs to break out above the 11K, 12K range, you know. So I would be a seller. So Sam Adams, I mean, you got to stick with the trend, man. Buy the pullbacks. That's all that's been working here. And even though there was some pullbacks that were pretty aggressive from 580 down to 500, but it sustained itself. Don't catch the knife. Play the pivot. Play the pivot. In terms of options, though, there's not really any liquidity. So you want to be careful. If you want to sell some spreads in there, sell some put spreads. I mean, probably be a safe bet for 29 days out. Kind of chill. Future habits. What's going on? Glad you're here. 10K is getting more and more bullish every week if we can get up there as we fight a slow downtrend. Yeah, it's just kind of holding. Victor, SLV. So we were talking about this morning. I mean, right now, obviously parabolic. Bunch of traders coming in here. Robinhood traders. Everyone's coming in. Not saying to go short. For me, I don't want to be short precious metals right now. But they will pull back and they will be bought. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I mean, there's some pullback now. They will be bought. There was some pre-market. Like pre-market yesterday. It dipped down, was bought. Day before that, dips were bought, ripped up high. But, I mean, it's gone from 17 to 21. And the reason why, why people like SLV is because it's a lot cheaper stock than doing a lot of the gold, or they're tired of doing like JNUG and those kind of type of things. You know what I mean? Can we get some AMD love? Let's look. Yeah, AMD. I didn't really pay attention to AMD yesterday. I've been watching AMD, and I've mostly been trading AMD when it comes down in the lower 50s. I only buy it once a month, maybe. And I've been buying when it comes down to the 50 level. It bounces up, and just kind of play it safe because I didn't know how long this consolidation was going to go on. It took on for 1, 2, 3 months, and on the 4th month it popped out. So you don't know how long the consolidation. People kept trying to buy the breakout, but it wasn't breaking out. It just kept hitting resistance and getting smacked down, So the easy trade for AMD, you buy it when it was 50, but now you kind of have to realign, kind of see where it's at. Right now it's at 61.60. Didn't really move up pre-market. We're having some trouble right now. There was a lot of fear entering the market yesterday with the Chinese consulate in Houston, and now there's retaliation, and China with the spy agency in Houston, and they said it's been going on for years. If it's been going on for years, I don't understand why they waited till now to actually shut it down. But it is what it is. Well, that's kind of a rant, but I just had to get that out there. Yo, Michael, what's going on? But yeah, I mean, I think AMD. I don't know why you would say there's resistance at 64. I mean, at this point, if it can stay above 60, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit for AMD. So I'm gonna be looking at some trades in there. Seems like it could really take off. Some cheaper price contracts than what I'm used to trading. So we'll see what happens. Michael, I haven't been doing too well. So, what I tell people that haven't been doing too well, and we all go through hot streaks. And hold on a second, market open. Oh, I gotta sell some premium here. Hold on. Gotta buy back my positions. Hold on a second, guys. I didn't realize market open. I was ranting too much. All right, we locked in for Twitter. Let me lock in a little bit here for American Airlines, and I'll go through this in a second here. Let's lock it in. These are filling way too fast. Probably not getting the best deal, but I just want to kind of clean this up and just call it a day. Let's call it a day. Come on. All right, so we might need to wait a second on Southwest Airlines, but this is what we did so far this morning. Selling some premium. I'm going to try to figure out what to do here. Only made a measly $15 on American Airlines. Did make $282. My max risk on Twitter was like $360. So we made like a good almost 70% there. I don't know about I gotta try to figure out how to get out of Southwest because I think the contracts aren't getting bid up right now. AMD's popping though. AMD's popping. Let's try to get out of Southwest here. See if we can. See if we can get out. The problem with Southwest right now on this Iron Condor is the bid on the 34.5s is 1 penny and the ask is 25 cents. That is the issue right now. But Michael, yeah, to get it back to your, what I tell people that are like, oh, I've been struggling, or every trader struggles. All right, I got out. Not the best deal on Southwest. So the airlines didn't really pay out that great, but Twitter came through hot. So we're all good. I stayed green, 3 green trades in a row. Didn't come through on Southwest or American, but it is what it is. We made $300 here. So, anyways, Michael, what I was saying, Kelly, I'll get to you in a second. Michael, if you're not doing too hot, and what I tell people is you need to refocus. Obviously, you're not seeing the market correctly. And when this happens to myself, if I have a couple red days in a row, I'm like, okay, we got to refocus, because you don't want to have a red week or red month or red year and see how that kind of trickles, keeps pushing that way. So if you're not having a good time and if you're losing, you have to focus on your strategy. Are you buying premium and losing? Maybe flip to selling premium. If you're trading a certain stock that you keep losing on, like for me, I was losing on Boeing. I boycotted Boeing. I don't care how good the opportunity is right now in Boeing. I will not trade it for the rest of the year. I will not trade it. Even this morning, there was some Boeing news that took it down again. It's just not good. It's not good. Okay, so change the stocks that you're trading. If you're trading SPY maybe and you're not doing well, switch to the Qs. If you're trading Apple not doing well, switch to Microsoft, switch to AMD, switch them out. Switch them out. Don't be married to anything when it comes to trading, because at any given time, like the strategy that I've implemented right now, I mean, it could not work next week. And I have to say, okay, what strategy do I need to apply to the market? Options trading is complex. So don't get discouraged if the market shifts and your strategy no longer works, and if you're losing. That doesn't mean that you can't win. That means you need to shift strategy and also mentality, psychology. Understand maybe you're putting up too much risk. Maybe you're risking too much. If I'm losing 2-3 days in a row, I'll pull out, most of the time I'm trading like $1,000 at a time, $800 at a time for a day trade, right? I'll go down to like $100 trades and make $10 at a time to build that confidence, to ensure that your process is good. If your process is good, you're going to make money. And then you can scale back up to where you were. If you want to do $2,000 trades, $5,000 trades, $1,000 trades, you name it. But scale back to like $100, $200, make the 10%, make the 15%, scale up, build the confidence, make sure you're hitting your targets. If you have if you're trading with like $100 and you're losing 30%, 40% of that $100, would you rather lose 40% of $100 or 40% of $1,000, right? So scale back your risk. You're not seeing the market correctly. Scale back the risk. Once you identified what's wrong, try something out, but only go in like $100 at a time. And then make the $10, make the $20. Not glamorous. Options trading, people think that options trading is glamorous and we're all riding off in the sunset with our Lambos and, pouring shots and cheering to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what's happening here. It's hard work, dedication, and if you really believe you can do it, you can do it. But if you don't think you can do it, those people are gonna lose it. People don't have, like, in options trading, you really need to have the self-confidence to move forward. It's all about yourself. And, I think this is great. Like, as an introvert, I think options trading is great. If you, like you were saying, Oliver, if you don't feel comfortable, you're trading too big. You're trading way too big. You know what I mean? You're trading way too big. Scale back the risk, or don't. Like, a lot of people, what they're doing now is like, oh, I want to hop in Tesla so bad. Even though if Tesla may not be the right trade for you, if you can't afford $1,000 or $5,000 in risk, don't trade it just because everyone else is trading it. So you really need to protect yourself from yourself. I hate to say it. Protect yourself from yourself. Realign your priorities. No point in doing this. There's no point in doing this if you lose money every day. Why stare at the charts? Why, if you're going to lose money every day, I'll just go do something else, like, but you really need to, it's always going to be a process. Everyone struggles, no matter if you've been trading 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, 6 months, you're going to struggle at some point. Yeah, everything is dropping. What? Yeah, Tesla. Tesla didn't move. Let's see what this premium crush is coming in at. Wow. They took out 60 to 70% on the puts and about 40 to 50% on the calls. Amazing. I wanted to sell premium so bad, but you know why I didn't sell premium? Because I felt the risk was going to be a little bit too much. The stars aligned for me on this Tesla trade, like the high IV, everything was aligned, but I didn't do it because I was like, you know what? If this goes wrong, it's going to go really wrong. And the other thing is being accountable. Find people you can be accountable to. Like, I'm accountable to you guys. If I come up on here on the stream, I start wilding out and going crazy, you're going to be like, whoa, Nick's wilding out. That was crazy. I wanted to sell an at the money iron condor, and this would have paid out big. $18,000 trade I was looking at, but I didn't do it. Everything was right. This went from a 220% IV down to 103. That is free money. So I'm getting a little heated this morning. I'm fired up today, bro. Like, the whole thing. I'm just fired up in general today. Like, I'm not taking any BS today. We're firing on all cylinders. I'm green on 3 trades in a row right here. We lit. When do you close the iron condor? Like, if I traded Tesla iron condor, like I did, so I traded same strategy with Twitter. Traded a Twitter iron condor. What did I do? I don't wait till it expires. I take the money out right away. This max profit on this Twitter trade. What was it? So max profit on this Twitter trade was 278. 278 times how many I have? I had 3 contracts. So max profit on this was 834 in total. I made 282. So I made about 20% of max profit. Don't try to squeeze out every penny. Just take a percentage and keep doing it. Like, what a lot of people try to do is it's frustrating to me because they try to time the top and the bottom. That is a losing strategy. If you try to time the top and the bottom, it's going to be near impossible. Just be happy you took a percentage of the move and move on. Like if I bought the dip here, like for an example, if I bought the dip here on Tesla and it dipped down to 1630, I would be like, oh well, I didn't catch it exactly right, and it went down to 1630 and ripped up to 1660. Just take a little bit of the move, So if it rips down here to 1630 and I sell at 1650 and it runs at 1680, I'm happy I took a percentage of that move. I'm not saying, oh, I wish I held on and I would have made $10,000 more dollars. I mean, that's going to happen every day. It doesn't matter. You could say that, oh, why did I trade AMD when I should have traded Microsoft? I could have made so much more money. Or why did I trade this instead of that? I could have made, it doesn't matter. What matters is you did what you did, and you have to stick with your process. Take a percentage of the move on, trade something else. That's it. Staying green. I mean, a lot of people do know. I mean, do you know how hard it is to stay green? It's a struggle. And then like sometimes what will happen is you'll have some wins in your belt. Like I'll be up like 3-4K or something like that, or I'll keep winning. And then you get a little reckless, like, because then you get comfortable. You're like, oh well, I'm winning so much. I mean, I'm not going to have a losing trade. I'll just put money here, bing, bing, bing. Things are working. And I've had 25 green trades in a row. I've been in that position, and at that point, you're like, well, if I had 25 green trades in a row, you expect that mentality to continue. You're expecting the win streak to continue. So what do I do when I start winning a lot? I pull back. I say, okay, well, I know that losses are about to come, so I need to scale back my risk because I need to protect myself for myself. Because I know what happens is someone's like, okay, I made $1,000 and I turn that to $2,000. I turn $2,000 to $5,000, and they keep rolling that risk 100%. And then what happens is one trade takes them out back to zero. So what was the point of doing all the work just to go back down to zero? Like that's very frustrating to me. Like if that for people to have that happen, like if you get to, let's say you start with $1,000 and you go to a $5,000 account and you fall back and you keep doing that. When you get to $4,000 or $5,000, withdraw the money, start back out with 1,000 because that's where you trust yourself, and rinse and repeat. That way you're stacking coins in your bank account and you're keeping yourself safe for options trading. So if you get to a point in your portfolio or your account balance where you're just keeping, you get to, let's say, $10,000 and you start giving back gains because your risk is too big and you're not feeling comfortable, then withdraw some money, start over. That's it. Sorry, I'm kind of ranting this morning. kind of ranting this morning. Yo, Daniel, good job, man. Good job. So, anyways, I'm going to leave you with that tidbit there. I'm going to pop off here. I got some other things to do. I'll be in the Discord. I'll be on Facebook. I'll be around. You guys, stay safe. Don't get your face ripped off. Stay green. It's always us versus herd.